Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you are enjoying this show, you should also check out the Premier Boys Podcast, hosted by myself, Aaron Kintok Sands, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, where we discuss many topics within the culture, from music, love, relationships, sex, politics, and many more. We could make you laugh, but the show could also get a little raunchy and may not be for everybody. But if you're willing to take that risk, check out the Premier Boys Podcast every Wednesdays, a part of the Premier Powerverse. Other show you could check out on the Premier Powerverse is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands every Friday at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Rod every Monday at 12 p.m. And Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Listen and support every show in the Premier Powerverse. Thank you for listening to this message and enjoy the show. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 8. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, 1/4 of the Premier Boys Podcast, your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. On the episode, we have a special guest. We have a returning guest. She is an author. She brought us new books to talk about. We got Miss Eliza Rose back on the show. And we're going to talk about what she's been up to and many more. And y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
Hey, this is your girl, Vanna B, and you're kicking it and listening to my boy on MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, the time for MrGentleman Facts, quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, if you have a story to tell, go out there and tell it. And I say this because in life, everybody have a story to tell. But it's up to you to go out there and tell it, because you never know who needs to hear it. You never know who will be listening. And you never know who will be inspired by what's come out of your mouth. So if you have a story to tell, just go out there and tell your story. Because no matter what you've been through in life, your story needs to be told. And that is today, MrGentleman Facts, quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Off Series Thursdays, where we have all of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, The Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, and tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
My name is Eliza Rose, and you are listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I got my special guest. She is actually a returning guest. She's been on the show from season 5. Remind you, we're on season 8 now. She is an author. She brought us 2 books the last time, but this time we're going to talk about a whole lot of books because she's done a lot since then. And she's been doing amazing things. And we got Miss Eliza Rose back on the show. Miss Eliza, how are you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I've been good, Yeah. But, welcome back to the show. And I'm happy to have you back.
Yeah.
But first thing first, what have you been up to? Like life updates on your personal life. You don't talk about none of the books related yet, because we're gonna get into that.
Well, I am a Georgia peach since May now. No longer New York, but I'm still New York City at heart. I am still getting my PhD in educational leadership. Yeah, I'm at the very hard process of almost there. So reaching the dissertation part. My kids are getting older. They're 6 and 3.
Okay,
and they're smart and they're active, and that's pretty much it. I'm looking for work, hopefully to help me towards my degree, so I can, just keep moving up. Time to shift from being a stay-at-home mom to actually just moving on to, helping out.
I feel you. And you're already doing amazing things. Keep doing big things. Keep doing big things. All right, so now I'm actually, since you've already been on the show before, so you already know how this works. I'm asking some icebreaker questions. So
I'm ready.
The first icebreaker question I'm asking is, who is your favorite cartoon character?
That's hard, but I must say Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay, instant choice. Okay.
When I was younger, she was always, I was like, that's almost me.
Okay, good choice. What was the last book you read that wasn't yours?
When a Wife's Fed Up by Penny Blackright. Yeah. Very good story.
Nice. What is one thing that gives you peace?
One thing that gives me peace?
Yes.
Watching TV.
Of course.
It's my me time. I get to just get into the storylines.
Okay, nice. And what is in your health right now? It could be a song, album, or even a podcast.
Right now it's Chris Brown's 11:11 album. The whole thing, including the deluxe album. I replayed it almost every day. There's something about the music that just calms me down.
Nice. And I ain't gonna lie, that was a really good album though.
Yeah.
That was a really good album. So I know you've been here before, but I'm asking this question again for those who I got a lot of new listeners. What inspired you to become an author?
What inspired me to become an author is really just reading other authors when I was younger. I started the mental process and stuff when I was 14. I started writing poetry. I had thousands of journals. It totaled up to almost 100. So I had to stop at a breaking point because I could keep journaling forever. I know there's no time to stop journaling, but I wanted to stop because at the time it felt too much. And then I really just, kept that in mind. And as I got older, I told myself I can do it as I see other authors publishing their work. And then now we had the self-publishing thing. So once I went to school for English and creative writing, I did it again to get my master's in English creative writing, but I took the route of publishing more than just trying to just focus on the writing part. And so that's what led me to actually say, let me actually publish this time instead of just saying I want to be an author. It's time to become one.
Oh, dope, dope. And I read your stuff, and you're doing an amazing thing.
Thank you.
Last time you was here, you brought us 2 books. Last time you was here,
Yeah.
Crisis of Lust and the Planting the Seed That Blossomed Me.
Yeah.
Now, since then, you wrote a whole bunch of books. You wrote a whole bunch of books. So we're gonna talk about dope. We're gonna talk about some of the books today. So I got a list of a book that you written since the last time you was here. So tell us about Crisis of Lust 2. But you got a part 2 to this Crisis of Lust.
Yes.
You also got a book called Play Him Twice.
Mm-hmm.
And you also got Good to See You Again. Tell us about those 3 books. Tell us about those 3 books and how was that working on those 3 books.
Right. So Crisis of Lust 2 came within 6 months of Crisis of Lust 1 because doing research and asking other authors is recommended or requested normally to do within 6 months because readers want to know what happened right away. So I was like, let me just get on the ball game while I was already fresh still with the storyline of Crisis of Lust 1. So I got that out and was like, hopefully this will, give everybody a new perspective from what happened from part 1. Then I played him twice in a creative heat when I was super inspired to, keep the creativity up. So it came about and I wrote it. And it's basically different from Crisis of Lust. It's not the same thing. It's more friends of benefits. It's erotica. It's about a man who is a player, and then he's not expecting to fall in love, but then he ends up falling in love anyway. But he's playing around with 2 sisters. That's why I played him twice. So it's a little plot twist at the end to find out which one that's where after he gets played himself. But that was just me just watching things and getting ideas, and then I brought that together. Then I wrote Good to See You Again after just being inspired to want to write a romantic comedy type story, so where it has that love appeal. It has that, when you want to be with somebody, but they're in a relationship and you don't know how to tell them, whether it's your friend or a stranger. So it's like a storyline from the woman's point of view. And you go through what she goes through in her relationship with her boyfriend. She has a friend and he's always liked her. He told her, but he was patient enough to try to wait for her to actually do the transition to want to be with him, even though he do kind things to show that he, still loves and respects her, stuff like that. Then they eventually end up together. And that was fun to write because, it's like real life stories. It happens all the time. I may do a part 2 to that one. Not sure yet. To be continued because there's other characters in there that, people feel like they can have their own story as well. But I got so many story ideas I can keep going.
I ain't gonna lie, those sound really good though. I ain't gonna lie, those sound really good. I might have to check them out. But if any of my audience wanted to check out any of your book, where can they read them? Where can they check it out?
Right now, they're still available only on Amazon. You can just type in Eliza Rose, or you can go straight to my link tree, which is linktree/author Eliza Rose, and it's directly there. Also.
Okay, nice. But also, you've been making some holiday type of books as well. You got a Halloween one, and you even working on a Christmas one. Tell us about your projects.
So before I get to the Halloween one, I want to address that to get there, I was also a part of a previous anthology, but that was a spicy anthology. It had over 15 authors, and I was a part of, you know, making one of the storylines. So I did that. And then this main author, she creates these anthologies consistently. So I didn't do the other one, but I did the Halloween one. So this one, I wrote a storyline based on Halloween themes surrounded. So the characters in the story, they, you know, they're in love, they spiciness, and at the end, you know, the woman gets her happy ending from the man that she's with. But it's called Sweet Somethings 4, and that's also, the link is also in my link tree. And that process is fun. I like working with other authors. We all just have a theme and we work together, and then it gets put in a book, and then it gets sold to everybody. And then um, my Christmas romance is right now, it's on pre-order for 99¢. It's called Her Christmas Wish. That's all me. It's a storyline of just love and holiday cheer and joy. It doesn't have any drama. It doesn't have anything that I normally write. So it's, you know, a little bit, you know, different and slightly difficult, but it's also going to be fun because, you know, I'm excited to see how the readers take to it, since it's my first clean romance, you know, without sex and drama in it as well.
Nice. I gotta check that out. But you know what? I got a random question now that just popped up. I do not have this on my notes, so this is strictly random, top of my head.
Great. Love
So if you have an opportunity to turn any of your books into a movie, would you would you want that to happen? If so, who would you want to direct that?
Good question. Yes, so I actually plan to write the first Crisis of Lust as a film script for a movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's I got so many things to come. And to direct it would probably be anybody under footage films, you know, Marcus Houston, Chris Stokes, stuff like that, only because that's mainly what they've been doing. I watched Stepdaughter, Stepmother, you know, all those things. It could be also, you know, famous author Jessica Watkins. It could be Zane because, you know, not only she's my idol, but she does movies too. Yeah, so, and it's that, and then I think Play Them Twice would be a good movie also. You know, because it has plot twists. Get people at the end.
Oh, that would be dope. I ain't gonna lie, that would be dope. And
right.
Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston, they be killing it with the two
exactly.
And I just saw Stepdaughter 2 literally like last night. so yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, auto pick would be dope pick though. But yeah.
Yeah.
So when creating a story and or book, what is your process? Like, what is your creative process? And also, I got a follow-up question after this is, out of all the books, I know this could be a hard one too for you. Out of all the books, which one was your favorite creating?
Okay, I'll start with that question. My favorite, to create, it was actually Good to See You Again, because it was inspired by, you know, actual things. And I enjoyed the characters so much that I technically didn't want to stop writing them. Yeah, and then as far as your first question, you said challenges, right?
No,
my process.
Your process.
Yeah, so my process is basically, I am a pantser. I don't write out everything. I just do it off the top of my head. I take the time. I say, okay, so I'm writing this book. I find the character names. I know what the book is going to be about, and I try to make it, you know, directly exactly how I want it to be, of course. So I sit and I try to think about the best beginning, or I just write down whatever, how it starts. So if I want the beginning to start like, you know, they're reading a book, then that's the direction we'll go in. If it doesn't look like it's going to be the best way, then I change it. And then I write straight through. So whatever my brain tells me is the next thing to happen next, that's what happens next. And if I have to stop because, I'm a mom and girlfriend, I got things, I'm a student, then I just write whatever I want to happen next. So it'll be like chapter 8 will say, he does this, he picks her up, she goes to the store, simple things like that. And I keep doing that until the book gets done. I don't have a set word limit. I let, my mind tell me that this is the end. I just know that, to have a full novel, it has to be at least over 90,000 words. So if I want it to be a full novel, that's what I aim to reach. If I want it to be a novella, then, it's going to be like 40,000 words. And that's how I continue to do. Sometimes I can get inspiration from movies, watching shows. So it'd be like, oh, I can add this type of detail into the work, and then I'll add that as well.
I know that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Now, speaking about challenges, what happened? Your biggest challenge as an author?
My biggest challenge as an author is, I would say, writing and branding. Writing because the imposter syndrome and the procrastination, because so much is going on that you have to find the time to actually write as, an author. It's not like academic. Nobody's giving me a harsh deadline. I'm creating my own deadline. So it's like, I got to write today, but then you realize you did so many things throughout the day. It's like, okay, I don't want to write today. Maybe I'll try tomorrow. And then it's also just the fact of being taken seriously, because there's a lot of authors in the world now. Self-publishing, everybody can post anything, but it's about keeping yourself seen and heard, and constantly throwing your books out there, even when you feel like it's not meant to be in that genre or it's not meant for that reader. They're just hoping that they give you a chance. We're constantly trying to figure out how to improve on that.
Yeah. And I feel you on the imposter syndrome, because I deal with that too. So
yeah,
that's a lot.
How do you handle yours?
That's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that before. That's a good question. How do I handle mine? I want to try to just stay focused and try to not let none of that get to me the best way I can. Right. And yeah, I guess that's all I can answer how I answer that for now, but. Yeah, right. I can relate to that like 100%. So, what is one major goal that you want to achieve as an author?
Being on a bestsellers list, not like New York Times. No offense, I would love that also, but I mean just like being like the famous authors. They're constantly in somebody's rotation. Like, oh, I know Eliza Rose here. When people ask, oh, what books do you recommend? And, it's getting shifted to, here, I recommend Eliza Rose books, Like, I just want to be, like, just known and passed around book-wise. And on top of that, because I have so many ideas, I hope to get them all out as well. Like, even if I'm still writing at 60, I want to have, like, all 100 books out.
Yeah, I feel you in that. I know you're gonna definitely gonna get there. Just keep doing amazing thing. You definitely gonna get there. All right, so it's time to get a little serious. So these days we dealt with a lot. We dealt with a lot of crimes out there. We dealt with health problem. We dealt with the recent election,
right?
And we all dealt with mental health. So my question to you is, why is mental health important? What was your challenges dealing with mental health?
Mental health is important because it's how you find yourself, and you find guidance in how to make yourself better. Healing is big, and we don't realize that sometimes until we're adults or it's too late. I believe with mental health, it's also healthy to communicate with your friends and family. I vent a lot to my closest friends and family, and it may not always be the best thing for my relationship, but at least, somebody hears what I'm going through and able to give me feedback on what I'm going through, and I don't take everybody's advice, but it's just, letting it out instead of keeping it in, because when you bottle stuff up, it do stuff to yourself when you don't realize you're hurting yourself by just trying to pretend that you're okay. One of my things that I've done before was also, like I said, journaling, not just for writing, but just, personal, just to sit there and say, I don't feel well today, So I think it's important to get the help that you need. I think therapy should be fine for everybody. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a stigma. You don't have to be a man or a woman to be in therapy. I think everybody should be in therapy because we all need help at some point. We're all not perfect, individuals. Otherwise, we wouldn't be feeling all the ways that we're feeling.
No, I agree. And I want to talk about this in my show now because a lot of us deal with it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been a lot for us the last couple of years. So, and I deal with mental health, of course. Depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. So, I felt like it's important for all of us to talk about it. And it's okay to talk about it. And I do agree. Therapy is important and stuff like that. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So, thank you for sharing that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you for sharing that. So, cause we all need it. So, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yes. So, what other project that you got going on that you had not spoke about yet? Like new books or stuff like that?
So after the Christmas novel, I am putting out the Valentine's Day
Mm.
novel. Yeah, so that should be exciting. It's gonna be my first Valentine's Day novel. I have projects for the future. Trying to get through this young adult short story that I have that I'm working on in progress, and then also have it's like two collections, so it's one person's story and then it's a whole nother teenager story. Then but they intersect because she goes to the first character's like store and stuff. Then I'm trying to work on this why a young adult storyline from it's like a romance, but it's like enemies to lovers romance. Where the girl is a um she's a newspaper editor, and then she's has to work with her enemy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then I'm gonna start my autobiography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, trying to tell my own story.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Big thing coming up. And I'm looking forward to everything that you're about to do.
thank you.
And what do you have to say for anybody going the same route you as an author? I know I asked the question before, but yeah, what do you have to say for anybody going the same route as you?
Um, as an author, it's hard, but it's also fun. It comes with rewards. The best thing is to never give up and to just keep trying to follow the people that's before you and working in the same line as you so you can, see how to get, ahead. And that's what I do. So, I don't say anything that I'm not doing myself. Like I told you before, I am in the race with everybody else that's a self-published author, but I'm also looking at what the readers like. I'm also looking at how to expand and also looking at how to do things better. I tell people if they want to publish to start off with Amazon because, that's everybody's first go-to for
Yeah,
books, and then you can eventually figure out how to expand. So right now I am trying to work on expanding to Barnes and Noble and stuff like that. But first I want to make sure, that it's the right thing, and not just doing it because I want to be put on, Barnes and Noble, bookshelf.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And my book, Prices of Less, is actually going to be on a independent bookstore in Georgia
Oh, nice, nice,
soon. Yeah. I'm
nice.
doing some more things to get out there. Yeah.
You are on the grind. Shout out to you for
Yeah.
real. Shout out to you for real.
Thank you.
All right, before you go, we're gonna play a segment game. This is a new segment game. It's a new segment game, kind of inspired by something else that's going on, but we're gonna do that
Right.
fun. We're gonna
Yeah.
call it the face off, where I give you two set of artists and you see which one you like better. I will also join in on this. It like verses. It like verses.
Right.
So are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So the first one is Anita Baker versus Sade.
Ooh. Nita Baker.
Okay. This is hard for me too. Like I love both, but
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm gonna say Anita Baker as well.
Yeah.
All right. Next we got next we got Blackstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
Oh my God. In sync. because I listen to them more.
I agree with you. I'm gonna say NSYNC as well. I'm gonna say NSYNC as well. I've always been an NSYNC fan. I ain't gonna hold you.
And it's Friday, you getting paid, right? So,
Fact, yeah, fact, fact. All right, next we got Jagged Edge versus 112.
112.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've always been more of a fan of 112.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with 112. This one was like probably one of the biggest battles this year. We got Drake versus Kendrick Lamar.
I'm sorry, I'm a Drake fan.
Oh damn. Well, I got Kendrick Lamar. You ain't know. I'm a Kendrick Lamar. I've always been a Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, that's so you can have your opinion.
Yeah. This next one, this is gonna be a hard battle because I don't like either one of them, but it's gonna just be whatever. Who you got? Ice Spice versus Sexy Red.
Oh my God, none.
Sally, you gotta pick one, Sally.
Ice Spice.
Sally. I mean, I would say none too, but if I had to pick one, it probably would be Ice Spice. I can't.
Yeah.
It would have to be Ice Spice, Sally. Next we got Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera.
Britney Spears.
I mean, I do like Britney, but I'm gonna say Christina. I like Christina stuff way more than I like Britney.
Because of her vocals or her music?
Well, okay. Now you put it that way. Vocals, Christina got better vocals.
Right.
Britney do got better music though.
Right.
But I believe overall, I just love Christina overall though. I just love Christina overall. All right.
That's fine.
All right. Next we got Neo versus The Dream.
Oh, Neo.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah.
Nah,
Because he wrote songs to other people too. I know The Dream did too, but
yeah. I'm definitely going Neo. Definitely going Neo. And last one, which this is a hard one, clearly. Michael Jackson versus Prince.
Michael Jackson.
You know, I love both, but of course, I gotta go with Michael. I've always been a Michael fan, no matter what.
Right.
I mean, clearly, you see Michael right here.
Right, exactly.
Then again, Prince is up there too, so it's hard.
Right, yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, but I gotta go with Michael. I gotta go with Michael. But Mr. Eliza Rose, thank you for coming on the show once again. It was good that you came back and share more of your books. And you're doing amazing things, so keep killing it. And thank you for coming on the show again.
No problem. Thank you.
And before you go, let everybody know where they can reach you. And let everybody know where they can read all of your books. This is your time.
All right. I'm on Instagram as author_Eliza Rose. I'm on Facebook. If you type in at Eliza Rose Writes. I'm on Twitter, Eliza Rose Books. I'm on TikTok, author Eliza Rose. And I am on Threads. I have email, ElizaRoseBooks4@gmail. And my books again are on Amazon.
All right, there you go. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
No problem.
Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman. Now, I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays. And Spinoff Series Thursday is the new home for MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spinoff Series that brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game. And we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the old school show that featured myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the old school show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday, a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday. The old school show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning into this latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thanks to my special guest, my returning guest, Miss Eliza Rose, for coming back on the show. It was definitely a fun conversation. Thank you for sharing more about your books and more about your journey. And it's always good to have you back. And we are definitely going to bring you back for a feature episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Y'all already know where MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast is at. Every Sunday for the main series, every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. And the old school show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. Spin-off series Thursday will be returning in 2025. So look out for that. And yeah, you can check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Aurhor Radio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Pod Chasers. The more y'all rate the show, the more people know about MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you want to be guests on MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast for the main series or any other spin-off series Thursday show, send me a bio about yourself and everything that you do to my email, ken@gmail.com, or hit me up social media, Ken_MrGentleman. I repeat, Ken, Ken _Mr. Gentleman, GENTLEMAN, and we can set something up because I do need guests for season 8 and season 9 of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can also check me out on the Premier Boy Podcast with myself, Aaron Kito Sands, the star Roddy Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, every Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Check out other shows in the Premier Powerverse, King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands, season 5 coming soon, and every Fridays at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the star Roddy Rod. You can check out all episodes of Star Time right now. And welcome to the trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal. New episode coming soon, and every Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Listen and support every show in the Premier Podverse. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Shadow. Where I shadow 4 shows and we give them their flowers. The last time we did this, we shadowed Better Call Daddy podcast. We shadowed Doom Generation. We shadowed Today We Laugh and Learn. And we shout out Lavender Listen. Check out the 4 shows that I mentioned the last time we did, Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Shoutouts. And of course, we got 4 new shows that we shine out. And the first show that I will be shouting out is Casty Vibes podcast, hosted by Shantanique. And on this show, she discussed stuff about her personal life. She discussed many music and movie reviews. And she had a spin-off series called Nicki Minaj Corner, where she updates everything about Nicki Minaj, everything that she's doing, and stuff like that. This is a pretty cool show, and y'all should definitely check out Casty Vibes. Y'all would definitely enjoy the show. The next show I will be talking about is The Lighthouse Within, hosted by Amber. And this is one of the newest shows that I started listening to recently. And this is more of a self-journey podcast, and I'm really enjoying this show. If y'all need something to listen to get your spirits up, or if you're in a bad mood, this is the best show to listen to, because this will definitely put you in a good mood. And continue to check out The Lighthouse Within, a really, really amazing new show that I just checked out. And I think y'all should also check out the show as well. The next show that we're going to talk about is Visit Vegas Places with Coral, hosted by Coral. And on this podcast show, he interviewed many entrepreneurs or anybody in the Vegas area. This is basically the best podcast to listen to when you want to travel or go somewhere. Check out businesses in Vegas. And he do a really good job with interviewing many guests and pretty much explore the mini world of Las Vegas. Check out Visit Vegas Places with Coral. A really dope show. And the last show that we're going to mention is Lullaby the Fair podcast, hosted by Ashley Leonard. And this is a podcast award-winning true crime show that dive into many history about many criminals and many more. I'm not gonna lie, I am not a big fan of true crime, but for some reason, this show make me really want to listen to it even more. And also, I love about the show is that she really put her passion into what she do, and she do her research. She do her research. And she do a really good job, doing the show. And yeah, and I really enjoying the show. And she also nominated for a podcast award again for the Canada Podcast Award. So shout out to her. And everybody check out the Lullaby the Fair podcast. And check out the 4 shows that I just mentioned. Casty Vibes podcast, The Lighthouse Within, Visit Vegas Places with Coral, and Lullaby the Fair podcast. And that is this week, Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Shoutouts. Sure! Also, y'all can check me out on Good Pods, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. Y'all already know Good Podcasts and many independent podcasts. You can check out each other's shows. We'll see what everybody listens to. We could recommend each other's show. And we had the chart. And about this time, it's time for Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Achievements, where we spotlight everything Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast is doing. And of course, we got the Good Pod charts. And for top 100 shows, we are back on we back on the charts, y'all. We back on the charts. We are number 8 for top 100 shows, which is really dope. Thank you everybody that continue to listen to Gentleman Like the podcast. For Society and Culture, we are number 1. We've been number 1 for 4 days now. And for Personal Journal, we are still number 1. We've been number 1 for 6 days. So thank you everybody that continue to listen to Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast on Good Pods. It really means a lot. And continue to listen to Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast on all podcast platforms. And yeah. And of course, check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. You can check out every episode of Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Podcast. You You can watch every video of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast from the audio version, from the Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV, for the Mr. Gentleman Fact Quote of the Day, and many more. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can check out every guest appearance that I've been on. You can check out every guest who's been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. All 74 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And of course, check out the official merch store from Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. www.tpublic.com. Just search Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Store. We have shirts, hoodie, mugs, and many more. Support this merch store so we can upgrade your listening experiences. And we have a big Black Friday store or for our merch store, so check that out. It's going to be a really big deal. And continue to check out the official merch store from Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. www.tpublic.com. Just search Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Store. And check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. And once again, thank you everybody for tuning into the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Next episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we got the Survivor Series War Games prediction episode. And of course, we got the prediction all-star crew in the building. Aaron King Talk Sands, Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, and for Let's Talk About a Podcast, and 21 Cal, the Source King. All of them will be back on the shows as we will be discussing the Survivor Series War Game prediction episode. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode.
My name is Jailan Salah, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.